a world defined by horizons, where the known stretched only as far as the eye could see, what drives a young man to leave the comfort of his home and embark on a journey across the known world? What secrets lie hidden in distant lands, and what wisdom can be gained from the vastness of Allah's creation? This is the extraordinary tale of Ibn Battuta, the world's greatest traveler whose footsteps traced a path of faith, discovery, and unparalleled human endurance. The call to journey. Say, O Muhammad, travel through the land and observe how He began creation. Then Allah will produce the final creation. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. Surah Al-Ankabut, chapter 29, verse 20. These words from the Holy Quran echoed in the heart of a young man named Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Muhammad ibn Ibrahim ibn Yusuf al-Lawati al-Tanji. Born in Tangier, Morocco, in the year 1304, he would become known to history simply as Ibn Battuta. His family was rooted in a tradition of Islamic scholarship and jurisprudence, a lineage that instilled in him a deep love for knowledge and a profound understanding of his faith from an early age. Tangier itself, a bustling port city on the North African coast, was a gateway to the wider world, a place where caravans departed for distant lands and ships sailed across the Mediterranean. This vibrant environment, coupled with his rigorous education, laid the foundation for an insatiable curiosity that would define his life's purpose. Ibn Battuta's early education was typical for a young man of his standing in 14th century Morocco. He immersed himself in the study of Islamic law, known as fiqh, specifically the Maliki school of thought, which was dominant in North Africa. He memorized the Quran, delved into the Hadith, the sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and mastered Arabic grammar and literature. This intellectual foundation was not merely academic, it was deeply spiritual. He learned that seeking knowledge was a religious duty, a path to understanding Allah's signs in the universe. The Islamic world of his time was a vast network of interconnected cities and scholarly centers, from Fez to Cairo, Damascus to Baghdad, all bound by a common language, religion, and intellectual pursuit. Scholars traveled freely, exchanging ideas, and the pursuit of knowledge was highly esteemed. This rich intellectual tapestry fostered a spirit of inquiry and a desire to witness the wonders of creation firsthand. The primary motivation for Ibn Battuta's initial departure from Tangier in June 1325 was the fulfillment of a sacred obligation, the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. This journey, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, calls every able-bodied Muslim to visit the holy city at least once in their lifetime. For Ibn Battuta, however, the Hajj was more than just a religious duty. It was the catalyst for a much grander adventure. He harbored a profound desire to meet the scholars of other lands, to observe diverse cultures, and to witness the vastness of the Muslim world that extended far beyond the familiar shores of Morocco. He was driven by a thirst for experience, a longing to see the world with his own eyes, to learn from its people, and to seek knowledge wherever it might lead him. He left his family and his comfortable life behind, embarking on his journey alone, with only a small sum of money and an unshakable trust in Allah. He was just 21 years old. His first leg of the journey took him eastward across North Africa. He traveled by land, joining caravans for safety, a common practice for pilgrims and merchants. His route led him through the bustling cities of Algeria and Tunisia, where he observed local customs, met with scholars, and sought blessings at the tombs of saints. He marveled at the diversity of the Muslim lands, even within the Maghreb region. He then continued to Tripoli, a major port city, and from there, he joined a larger caravan heading towards Egypt. The desert crossings were arduous, fraught with dangers from bandits and the harsh elements. Yet, Ibn Battuta persevered, his faith serving as his guiding light. He was not merely a tourist, he was a student of the world, meticulously observing and recording everything he saw. He understood that every challenge was a test, and every new encounter was an opportunity for growth and learning. Upon reaching Egypt, Ibn Battuta was immediately struck by the grandeur of Alexandria, a city rich in history and intellectual heritage. He visited its famous lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and spent time with its scholars. From Alexandria, he traveled to Cairo, the magnificent capital of the Mamluk Sultanate. Cairo in the 14th century was one of the largest and most vibrant cities in the world, a hub of trade, scholarship, and political power.
Ibn Battuta was overwhelmed by its sheer size, its bustling markets, its grand mosques, and its countless madrasas, religious schools. He spent several weeks in Cairo, exploring its wonders, attending lectures, and meeting with renowned jurists and Sufi mystics. He was particularly impressed by the city's charitable institutions, which provided food and shelter for the poor and travelers. He noted the strict adherence to Islamic law and the vibrant intellectual life that permeated the city. This initial exposure to the heart of the Islamic world only deepened his desire to continue his journey, to explore even more distant lands, and to witness the full spectrum of Allah's creation. He realized that his Hajj was just the beginning, a gateway to a lifetime of exploration. But little did he know, the path ahead would be filled with trials that would test his faith, his endurance, and his very will to survive. Trials, encounters, and the expanding horizon. The unified Muslim lands now stood under Salahuddin's banner, a formidable force forged from years of patient diplomacy and strategic consolidation. But a fragile peace hung over the region, constantly threatened by the lingering presence of the Crusader states. The signs of impending conflict were clear, etched in the provocative actions of those who defied any hope of lasting peace. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:190. What unseen dangers lurked beyond the familiar routes, testing the resolve of a lone traveler. How would Ibn Battuta navigate the treacherous waters of political intrigue and personal hardship in lands far from home? And what profound lessons would he learn from the diverse societies he encountered, both righteous and rebellious? The air grew heavy with tension, a storm gathering on the horizon, threatening to engulf the entire Levant in a war for its very soul. After his enriching stay in Cairo, Ibn Battuta continued his journey towards Mecca. He had a choice of routes: either travel directly across the desert to the Red Sea, or take a more circuitous path through the Levant, Syria, and Palestine. Driven by his insatiable curiosity and desire to see more of the Islamic world, he chose the latter. This decision would lead him through lands steeped in prophetic history and marked by ongoing conflicts with the Crusader states. He traveled through Palestine, visiting Jerusalem, the third holiest city in Islam. He prayed at Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock, marveling at their beauty and spiritual significance. He observed the remnants of Crusader presence and the efforts of Muslim rulers to rebuild and restore the region after years of conflict. His journey through these lands was a powerful reminder of the historical struggles and the enduring sanctity of these holy sites.
He then continued north into Syria, visiting cities like Hebron, Bethlehem, and Damascus. Damascus, in particular, captivated him. It was a thriving center of Islamic scholarship and commerce, boasting magnificent mosques, bustling markets, and countless madrasas. He spent several months there, attending lectures, meeting prominent scholars, and receiving permission from judges to serve in any Muslim land he might visit. This authorization, known as ijaza, was a testament to his scholarly achievements and would prove invaluable in his future travels. The journey was not without its perils. Traveling in the 14th century was a dangerous undertaking, even within the relatively stable Mamluk Sultanate. Caravans were vulnerable to bandit attacks, and the vast deserts presented challenges of heat, thirst, and navigation. Ibn Battuta often faced illness, poverty, and the loss of companions along the way. He recounted instances of being robbed, falling ill with fever, and enduring extreme hunger. Yet, his faith remained unshaken. He believed that Allah was his protector, and that every trial was a means of purification and a test of his reliance on God. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "No fatigue, nor disease, nor sorrow, nor sadness, nor hurt, nor distress befalls a Muslim, even if it were the prick of a thorn, but Allah expiates some of his sins thereby." Sahih al-Bukhari, Book 70, Hadith 5-430. Ibn Battuta's perseverance through these hardships was a living embodiment of this teaching, finding spiritual reward even in adversity. He learned to adapt, to be resourceful, and to trust in the kindness of strangers, many of whom offered him hospitality purely for the sake of Allah. From Syria, Ibn Battuta finally turned south towards Mecca, joining a large pilgrim caravan. The journey through the Arabian Peninsula was long and arduous, crossing vast, unforgiving deserts. He experienced the intense heat and the constant threat of thirst, relying on the caravan's organized system of water distribution. Finally, in 1326, he reached Mecca, completing his first Hajj. The experience of circumambulating the Kaaba, performing the rituals of Hajj, and standing shoulder to shoulder with Muslims from every corner of the world was profoundly moving for him. It was a moment of spiritual fulfillment, a culmination of months of travel and hardship. He spent several weeks in Mecca, immersing himself in the spiritual atmosphere, attending lectures, and meeting with scholars and pilgrims from diverse backgrounds. This experience of global Muslim unity, witnessed in the heart of Islam, further ignited his desire to continue his travels, to see more of this vast and interconnected world. However, his journey was not solely about spiritual fulfillment. It also involved navigating complex social and political landscapes. He encountered various rulers and officials, some just and pious, others corrupt and oppressive. He observed the stark differences in customs and governance, even within the framework of Islamic law. For instance, he noted the strict adherence to justice in some Mamluk cities, contrasting it with instances of bribery and injustice he witnessed elsewhere. He was a keen observer of human nature, noting both the virtues and vices of the people he met. He learned to be diplomatic, to adapt to local customs, and to use his knowledge of Islamic law to gain respect and access. His encounters with different schools of thought and interpretations of Islam broadened his understanding, making him a more tolerant and open-minded individual. He understood that while the core tenets of Islam were universal, their application and cultural expressions varied widely. After performing his Hajj, instead of returning home, Ibn Battuta decided to continue his travels. His initial goal of Hajj had transformed into a lifelong quest for knowledge and exploration. He traveled through Iraq and Persia, visiting cities like Baghdad, Isfahan, and Tabriz. He witnessed the lingering devastation left by the Mongol invasions, but also observed the resilience of Muslim communities and the efforts to rebuild. He met with local rulers, scholars, and Sufi mystics, absorbing their wisdom and recording their stories. He then traveled through the Arabian Gulf, exploring coastal towns and experiencing maritime trade. He encountered pirates in the Persian Gulf, narrowly escaping capture, a stark reminder of the constant dangers of his chosen path. These experiences deepened his reliance on Allah and his understanding of the fragility of human life. He continued to push the boundaries of his journey, driven by an unquenchable thirst to see more, learn more, and connect with the diverse tapestry of the Muslim world. His path was leading him to lands even more distant, where new challenges and even greater wonders awaited. The horizon expanded with every step, beckoning him further into the unknown, towards the zenith of his explorations. The zenith of exploration and diverse worlds. The horizon expanded with every step, beckoning him further into the unknown, towards the zenith of his explorations. From the deserts of Arabia, Ibn Battuta turned his gaze eastward towards lands of fabled riches and ancient civilizations, where the tapestry of Islam wove itself into entirely new cultures. And of his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the diversity of your languages and your colors. Indeed, in that are signs for those of knowledge. Surah Ar-Rum 30:22. What wonders awaited him in the bustling ports of India, the tranquil islands of the Maldives, or the distant reaches of China? How would he adapt to societies vastly different from his own? And what profound insights would he gain from witnessing the incredible diversity of Allah's creation? This was the peak of his epic journey, a testament to human curiosity and divine wisdom. From the Arabian Gulf, Ibn Battuta embarked on a sea voyage to East Africa, visiting coastal cities like Mogadishu, Mombasa, and Kilwa. He was fascinated by the vibrant Swahili culture, a unique blend of African and Arab influences, and observed the thriving trade networks that connected East Africa to India and beyond. He noted the strong adherence to Islamic practices in these communities, despite their geographical distance from the heartlands of Islam. He then sailed across the Indian Ocean to India, a journey that was itself a monumental undertaking in the 14th century. Upon arriving in Delhi, the capital of the Delhi Sultanate, his reputation as a learned jurist preceded him. The Sultan of Delhi, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, a ruler known for both his generosity and his unpredictable nature, appointed Ibn Battuta as a qadi, or judge, in his court. This appointment marked a significant turning point in Ibn Battuta's life. He spent several years in Delhi, navigating the complexities of the Sultan's court, witnessing both its grandeur and its harshness. He lived a life of relative luxury, but also experienced moments of fear and uncertainty due to the Sultan's volatile temperament. He meticulously recorded his observations of Indian society, its customs, legal system, and the unique challenges faced by Muslims living there. His time in India was a period of immense personal and intellectual growth, but also one of significant personal trials. He fell ill multiple times, faced political intrigues that nearly cost him his life, and witnessed the Sultan's brutal punishments. Yet he persevered, always seeking knowledge and understanding. He learned about the diverse religious practices of India, including Hinduism and Buddhism, and reflected on the vastness of Allah's creation. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Indeed, the world is sweet and green, and verily Allah is going to install you as vicegerents in it, and He will see how you act." Sahih Muslim, Book 36, Hadith 2742. Ibn Battuta, in his role as a judge, strived to act justly and apply Islamic law fairly, even in a foreign land. After nearly 8 years in Delhi, the Sultan appointed him as an ambassador to China, a journey that promised even greater adventures.
The voyage to China was fraught with peril. A shipwreck off the coast of Calicut in India cost him all his possessions and nearly his life. Undeterred, he continued his journey, traveling to the Maldives, where he again served as a Qadi for a period, marrying several times and observing the unique island culture. He then visited Ceylon, modern-day Sri Lanka, where he climbed Adam's Peak, a sacred mountain revered by various faiths, and witnessed its diverse religious communities. From Ceylon, he continued his maritime journey through Southeast Asia, visiting Sumatra and eventually reaching China. He explored major Chinese cities like Guangzhou, and Hangzhou, and possibly even ventured as far north as Beijing. He was astonished by the advanced civilization of China, its bustling trade, its porcelain, and its unique customs. He noted that while Muslims were a minority, they were respected and allowed to practice their faith freely, with mosques and Muslim communities thriving in the major port cities. His observations of China provided a rare and invaluable glimpse into this distant land for the Muslim world. He marveled at the efficiency of their postal system, the beauty of their art, and the vastness of their empire. During these extensive travels, Ibn Battuta encountered a vast array of human experiences. He met kings and commoners, scholars and merchants, saints and sinners. He witnessed both immense prosperity and abject poverty, strict adherence to religious law, and surprising cultural deviations. These encounters profoundly shaped his worldview. He learned the importance of adaptability, humility, and the universal brotherhood of Muslims, despite their diverse cultural expressions. He was a keen ethnographer, meticulously documenting the customs, food, clothing, and social structures of each place he visited. His ability to connect with people from different backgrounds, often by leveraging his legal and religious knowledge, allowed him access to circles that most travelers could only dream of. He was a living bridge between distant lands, carrying stories and knowledge from one corner of the world to another.
The end of his journey, but the beginning of his most significant contribution. Upon his return, the Sultan of Morocco, Abu Inan Faris, recognizing the immense value of Ibn Battuta's experiences, commissioned him to dictate his travels. The task of recording his vast adventures fell to a scholar named Ibn Juzay, who transcribed Ibn Battuta's recollections into a monumental work known as the Rihla, literally the journey. This collaboration was crucial as Ibn Battuta himself was not a polished writer but an extraordinary orator and observer. The Rihla became an invaluable historical and geographical record of the 14th century Islamic world and beyond. It provided detailed descriptions of lands, peoples, customs, rulers, and trade routes that were largely unknown to the wider Muslim world and entirely unknown to Europeans. It offered a unique, first-hand account of societies from West Africa to China, from the bustling markets of Delhi to the remote islands of the Maldives. This monumental work serves as a testament to the Prophet Muhammad's encouragement to seek knowledge, even if it be in China, and to observe Allah's signs throughout the earth. The Rihla is not merely a travelogue. It is a rich tapestry of cultural, social, and political observations. Ibn Battuta documented everything from the price of goods in various markets to the intricacies of legal systems, the practices of Sufi orders, and the daily lives of ordinary people. He described the lavish courts of sultans, the challenges of desert crossings, and the wonders of distant cities. His detailed accounts of the Mali Empire, for instance, provide some of the most important historical information available,
about Mansa Musa's successors and the workings of that powerful West African kingdom. His work filled significant gaps in the geographical and historical knowledge of the time, becoming a vital source for future generations of scholars. The value of his Rihla lies not just in its breadth, but in its authenticity and the personal touch of a traveler who lived every moment of his journey. Ibn Battuta's life and his Rihla offer profound lessons for modern Muslims. The pursuit of knowledge, his insatiable curiosity and relentless pursuit of knowledge, even in the face of extreme hardship, highlight the Islamic emphasis on seeking understanding throughout one's life. He embodied the Hadith. Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. Sunan Ibn Majah, Hadith 224. Trust in Allah, tawakkul. He faced countless dangers and uncertainties, yet his unwavering trust in Allah's protection allowed him to persevere. His journey is a powerful testament to the strength that comes from true reliance on God. Global brotherhood, Ummah. His travels across diverse lands reinforced the concept of the global Muslim community. He found fellow Muslims wherever he went, highlighting the unity of faith that transcends geographical and cultural boundaries. He observed the common thread of Islam binding diverse peoples, a living example of the Quranic verse, "Indeed, this, your religion is one religion, and I am my Lord, so worship me." Surah Al-Anbiya 21:92. Adaptability and resilience. Ibn Battuta's ability to adapt to different cultures, learn new languages, and overcome immense physical and political challenges demonstrates the resilience and flexibility required to navigate a complex world. The value of observation. His meticulous observations and detailed descriptions serve as a reminder for us to look beyond the surface, to appreciate the diversity of Allah's creation, and to learn from every experience. Ibn Battuta passed away in Morocco around 1368 or 1369, having lived a life that was truly unparalleled. He was not a conqueror or a king, but a scholar and a traveler whose legacy is etched not in monuments, but in the pages of his extraordinary book. His Rihla continues to inspire generations, inviting us to imagine a world connected by faith, curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of discovery. His journey reminds us that the world is indeed a vast and wondrous book, and for those willing to travel and observe, its lessons are endless. The echoes of his footsteps still resonate, calling us to explore, to learn, and to appreciate the boundless signs of Allah's greatness across the earth.